Hey guys, I'm Serx.
And I'm Van.
And it's time to have some fun.
Today we're going to tell you everything you need to know to get into the world of fountain pens. So stay tuned.
SerxVanFunTime. Fountain pens are pens used to write.
What makes them different from other pens?
Well, you see, Van, most people use regular ballpoint pens. Now these feature a tube filled with paste-based ink and a tiny ball at the tip of the pen. Now when you apply pressure and move the pen across the page, the ball rolls around, continuously dipping itself in the ink and transferring that onto the page.
That's why you have to apply so much pressure when you write with one. If you don't, your pen won't write well. This becomes a problem for prolonged writing sessions like exams, but they're generally cheap and disposable, so when you run out, you just grab a new one.
But fountain pens have a completely different mechanism for ink delivery.
They still contain a reservoir of ink, but this ink is generally water-based, so it flows much easier.
And there's no need to apply pressure because there's a system down the length of the pen that allows the ink to flow via capillary action.
This means that once the ink touches the paper, the ink is drawn out without any extra force necessary. This makes writing for long periods of time much more comfortable.
Oh yeah.
There are four main parts to a fountain pen: the nib, the feed, the converter or cartridge, and the body.
Ooh.
Nib.
Now the nib is perhaps the most important part of the pen because this is the part that makes contact with the paper and thus it affects how the pen writes. The nib is split down the middle into two tines, and this little slit is where the ink is drawn into due to the capillary action, and there's also a breathing hole to allow air into the pen.
There are many different types of nibs, and nibs can come in a variety of sizes ranging from extra fine all the way to a 6mm nib or even larger. There are different cuts of nibs that write differently in different directions too.
And finally, it's possible to buy nibs that can be flexed so that when you apply more pressure, the lines get thicker. These pens are generally used in calligraphy. Feed.
The feed is used to store and deliver ink directly to the nib when it is required.
Feeds have those nice little gratings in them, and that's what stores the ink, again, due to the capillary forces.
If you have a really thick nib that writes really wet, you need a feed that can keep up with the amount of ink that's required.
But the problem is you generally can't specifically choose what type of feed you want. They usually just come with the pen that you buy.
Cartridge converter.
The cartridge or converter is the part of the fountain pen that stores the ink, much like a regular ballpoint pen.
There are many different types of converters.
This is a squeeze converter. You drop the ink via a bulb. The problem with this specific converter is that it is opaque, so you can't see your ink level.
This is a piston-style twist converter. You fill up the ink by twisting the piston at the back of the pen. This one's clear so you can see the level of your ink.
Now the beauty of converters is that you can use any color or brand of ink that you like.
Most fountain pens come with a cartridge of ink that is a disposable option, shown here.
Body!
Now the body of the fountain pen is more so just an aesthetic characteristic.
There are many different colors, patterns, materials, and designs, as you can see by our samples here.
Some really good looking ones. Now, many people think that fountain pens are very expensive, but that's definitely not true. There are a lot of quality, cheap options out there.
You can get fountain pens for around $3 to $4 that will definitely be worth your money, such as the Pilot Varsity and Platinum Preppy pens.
Although these pens are cheap, they are perfect starter pens to see if this is something that you would be willing to invest a little more money into. And not to mention, they have fantastic reviews from their users.
Stepping up from there to a pen we've both bought, tried, and fell in love with is the Pilot Metropolitan for about $20. These pens are such high quality for the price, and they are so smooth. They have a metallic construction, and they look very sharp.
I would recommend starting off with this pen right off the bat, since it is such a good pen for not a large stretch of money. It will last you a very long time, and it will really get you into the feel of how to use and care for a fountain pen.
A slightly more expensive low-price pen is the Lamy Safari for around $40.
It's a German-made pen featuring an all-plastic construction, and it has a lifetime warranty. This pen is used as a workhorse by many fountain pen enthusiasts.
These are some of the starter pens that we would recommend. Unlike ballpoint pens, fountain pen ink is generally not waterproof as it is a water-based ink. However, there are a plethora of waterproof options available.
For example, this Noodler's Black Eel is not only waterproof, but is also organic solvent proof, UV proof, and bleach proof as well.
But the real fun comes from the diverse spectrum of inks available in literally any color you could think of.
If you're just getting started out and you don't want to commit to buying a large bottle of ink just yet, I would suggest trying these sample packs of 8 different types of ink.
Or, if you want to be fancy like me and don't have to use your pen for official documents, you can go for a fun or favorite color like this burgundy.
There are many great reasons to switch to fountain pens. For starters, the writing experience is so smooth and effortless that it really makes you enjoy writing.
At this point, I can't even go back to ballpoints. I love that I can interchange my inks easily, and with the massive amount of inks to choose from, the possibilities feel endless.
Another great feature of fountain pens is the shading of the ink.
When writing with a fountain pen, you don't get the exact same color throughout. There are some points that are slightly darker or lighter than others, which looks amazing.
They really don't cost that much, and the ink bottles last for a very long time.
They can look great and be an excellent conversation piece.
Finally, you get to be part of a small community of fountain pen enthusiasts like us.
As we mentioned earlier, we both love the Pilot Metropolitan. It's not only a great starter pen, but has proven to be a great pen overall. Serx has the black with dots, and I have the gold with dots, but
Black looks a lot better.
not even a little. I use mine for marking, and it makes the tedious experience a lot more enjoyable.
My favorite pen is actually the first fountain pen I ever saw. It's called the Pilot Falcon Namiki, and it features a 14-karat gold nib that has semi-flex. This is a fine nib, so it actually writes pretty fine, but if you do apply some pressure, you can get the line to expand a bit, so you can get some really nice variation. It's so smooth, and it's such a beautiful, professional-looking pen. I really just love this pen.
This is my Monteverde Mountains of the World Mount Fuji pen with a medium nib. The reason I chose this pen is that it is gorgeous. As you can see, the colors are beautiful, and because of the manufacturing process, the pens are always unique, which I really liked. I got a medium nib, and it's huge, and it has a nice mountain engraving on it. This pen is an ink guzzler, though, because of the medium ink, but it writes so wet, and the shading is beautiful. I can't get enough of it. Once I start writing, I just want to scribble everywhere and not stop.
We hope you all enjoyed this fountain pen tutorial.
If you guys convert to the fun side, let us know which fountain pens and inks you use in the comments.
And don't forget to like the video.
And subscribe to our channel for more fun times.
I'm Serx.
And I'm Van.
And we hope you had a fun time.